Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Monday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Wanted to join in on a contest from a true gentleman in the BC. Started up a new channel, Mr. Ron Haggerty and Ron Haggerty's Vinyl Pasta. And he has a contest going on, My Favorite Year in Music contest. Love Ron. He's so easygoing and smooth talking and does all the right things. Fantastic collection. Knows his music inside and out. Again, a real gentleman in the BC. Been around for a long time. And contest runs through October 1st. All the general rules apply. You have to be a subscriber to Ron's channel. You have to let Ron know that you've submitted a video, and I'll be doing all of the above very soon. So again, he wants us to show my favorite year in music. Before I get into it though, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. I want to continue to put great content out there to be informative and to show you guys some great bands and artists that I have in my collection. It's because of you guys, your likes, your subscriptions, your wonderful, wonderful comments that keep me going, keep me motivated to do this kind of thing, and I really, really appreciate it, and I love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I chose 1972, being the classic rock guy that I am, progressive rock guy. 1972 has some wonderful, wonderful releases, and it was a challenge just to limit it to a small amount here, but Ron wants us to show, and this is the hardest question of the bunch, show an overrated album. Difficult, Ron, because I love all my albums in their own way. Show an underrated album. Show a comeback album. Show a favorite debut album. Show an album you wished you had in that year, or from that year, sorry, and your top 5 albums from that year. Lots of stuff coming up, which is pretty cool stuff. Again, that first question is the difficult one, but I think I did okay on it. I took a little bit of a spin on it, because when you think of overrated, you think, oh, it's going to be wonderful, and it turns out to be not. Well, I didn't use that meaning of it, but I'll show you what it is here. So for anyone that is into this particular band and they use this album as their first entry to the band, it may be over the top for them, and that's how I went with this one, because I hemmed and hawed and thought about it. But only 3 songs on this album, and it's quite an experience. It's definitely a couple of listens. I think if I would have listened to it back in '72, I wouldn't have even understood it. Now that I'm older, now that I have an ear for what I'm listening to and I understand, I dig it. And I wasn't even into this band back in 1972. That's the funny thing about this one. But it's Close to the Edge by Yes, and I'm not dissing this album whatsoever. I think it's a wonderful, fantastic album. I think it's too much for the average listener. If you put it on that someone that didn't know music, they'd probably dig it, but they wouldn't understand it. They wouldn't get it because it's just so much. And these guys are just at the top of their game at there. So again, nothing against the album. It's just like King Crimson's in their first debut album. I mean, unless you know King Crimson, it's kind of hard to get into, or any King Crimson album. It's the same type of thing. It's not 90125, that radio-friendly, more song-related album. This is definitely a listen. So that's how I took it as an overrated album. I have a hard time rating my albums, but this is what I chose for an overrated album, just simply because it's overrated and maybe a little too much for someone that's getting into Yes the first time. But other than that, I love this album. But that's the one I chose. underrated album. Their first 3 studio releases were double albums, which was remarkable. Not too many bands had double albums their first 3 releases. Then they came out with a double live album, which is their 4th release. So their 5th release kind of maybe were undershadowed by the previous releases. People expecting that jam sound, that double album type of thing, and they came back with their single album, Chicago 5, 1972 release, obviously, but more single-related songs, more pop, but still great stuff. I mean, Terry Kath is still there alive with his riffs. Robert Lamb's songwriting is just remarkable on this one. A couple of ballads, but there's a lot of jazzy stuff on this one, which didn't appear on their first 3 albums. You've got Where the City Sleeps, Saturday in the Park, of course, their big hit. State of the Union, political. They've always been a political band in their earlier career. It's only in their later career that it became that pop sappy stuff that I hate. And then you got Goodbye and Alma Mater. And of course, three main vocalists, and Robert Lamb, Terry Kath, and Peter Cetera. Hit by Varese is a great opening. Robert Lamb is just at the top of his game as far as his writing and skills. All is Well. Now That You've Gone, again, the start of perhaps their poppy ballads. And then you got a cool dialogue, part 1 and part 2, with Terry Kath and Peter Cetera. Probably one of my favorite tracks. But if you compare it to their first 3 albums and then their live album, it's really underrated in that, but it's still an amazing album. And then 6 is the same type of style. So they shortened their production as far as amount of songs on the albums, but they tried to fill it with a different variety of songs, and I think they did a great job on this one. So that's my underrated album. Next is a comeback album of 1972. Well, this isn't a 72 release. This is one of my favorite Rod Stewart albums ever. This is Every Picture Tells a Story. Kind of continuation with The Faces, which I absolutely love as well. Got that rock, that gritty guitar sound. It's a continuation of this. You got Maggie May and everything else on here. Well, he came back with sorry, I had this apart while I was doing this. He came back with Never a Dull Moment, 1972 release, obviously, and a continuation of there's a continuation of that rock and roll style that I love from Rod Stewart. I do not like his later stuff whatsoever, but I love this gritty sound that he seemed to have. Again, because The Faces had that gritty sound as well. But You Wear It Well is the big hit off of this one. But they do a great cover of I'd Rather Go Blind. I think it's Etta James. Great cover of that one. The only song I'm not big on this is Twisting the Night Away, which is a cover again. But you got True Blue, Lost Paraguayas, Mama, You've Been on My Mind, Italian Girls, Angel, and then of course You Wear It Well, and I'd Rather Go Blind, and Twisting the Night Away. But oops, sorry. What a I think it's a comeback because it's a great follow-up to Every Picture Tells a Story. Not that he left and came back. Again, I'm trying to hope it's okay, Ron. I'm switching these around a little bit from their true meanings, but I think it's a comeback, and that he came back with just as strong as album as Every Picture Tells a Story in Never a Dull Moment. Beyond that, he got into more poppy, more whatever he's into now type of thing. But these first couple of albums are fantastic. But a great release, great release. Next is favorite debut. This one was difficult, but in a way, but it wasn't. And unfortunately, I don't have it on album, so that could have been an album you wish you had. But I chose Big Star by this wonderful, wonderful, unfortunately short-lived band. They had a slow start when this came out, as far as selling units, but it eventually caught wind and ended up number 13 on the Rolling Stones Top 500 albums of all time. Every song could be a single off this one. It's a wonderful debut, and from a wonderful, wonderful band. This would also be an underrated album as well, but it's a great debut album. There's the song list. Great rock album. So good. Great debut album in Big Star. Again, it's too bad that they had a short career, but they could have been huge, and they were at the time, I guess. But that cool debut album back then. An album you wish you had from that year, and I don't have it. I thought I had it. I searched for it. I checked my Discog list for it. I don't have it. But it's Obscured by Cloud by Pink Floyd. That's going to add and not quite complete my Pink Floyd collection, but getting close to completing it. I don't know why I don't have it. But that's the one I have. I'm showing it here up above. But that's the album I wish I had from that particular year. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And Pink Floyd is in a category all their own. This next one was fun, and also I had to shorten it somewhat. But top 5 albums for that year. Wow. This is always going to be my favorite album. It was one of my first albums I ever bought from 1972. And it's the fantastic Machine Head from Deep Purple. What a... I know every song by heart. It's just remarkable. I mean, it starts off with Highway Star. Then you got Maybe I'm a Leo, Pictures of Home, which are two hidden gems on this particular album for sure. Never Before, another one. I love those tracks. The drumming in those tracks are wonderful. Then you got Machine Head, Lazy, and Space Truck, and ended up on side 2. Heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. And of course, Lazy, just that jamming, bluesy, jazzy wonderfulness of Lazy. It's so cool. And yeah, still remains my favorite. Again, this is not the original album that I bought, but this was one of the first albums I ever got from 1972. You've got the amazing opus of Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull. I'm not going to take the cover out, but it's an original cover with the almost like a newspaper fold out. I've yet to do the read everything in this one, but what a concept album this one is. Thick as a Brick. Another favorite, you've got the classic Demons and Wizards by Uriah Heep. Whew. This is the pinnacle of Uriah Heep. This is just wonderful, wonderful stuff. I would say rivaling. Is that a word? They rival. There you go. That's better. They rival Deep Purple for sure. As the heavy sound, the wonderful guitars, the vocals, just remarkable, remarkable stuff. Love it, love it. Just picked this one up recently, but it's quickly becoming one of my favorites. This is Slayed Alive. The only thing I don't like about this one is only a single album, but frig, this is such a great album. I consider it, I don't know, just the collaboration with the crowd, how the crowd got into these guys. It's I'd say top 10 live albums for sure. Again, only a single, but 1972, great release. I wish I had this on vinyl. That could have been part of the questions again. School's Out, Alice Cooper, with the classic School's Out. you know, what do you want? Fantastic album. Again, Ron, I'm showing more than 5. You got Mott the Hoople, All the Young Dudes. Again, I wish I had this one on vinyl. Classic album. And finally, Edgar Winter Group, They Only Come Out at Night. This one actually features Tommy Shaw from Styx on it, but a classic album from a multi-instrumentalist, Edgar Winter. He was just remarkable stuff. So there you have it, guys. There's my entry into Ron's Vinyl Pasta, Ron Haggerty's Vinyl Pasta contest, my favorite album in music contest. Good luck to everyone that's entered. I'm going to be submitting it soon, and I'll let Ron know that I've put an entry in. Choose your favorite year, show it up. It's a pretty fun contest, and good luck to Ron as he grows his new channel. So thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Love you all. Bye now.